Hey guys, Technonaut Games here. I'm gonna give you some racing tips for Grand Theft Auto 5 to make you a little bit faster, make it a little bit easier for you, and get you some race wins. So first thing I would say is get off-road tires on your custom vehicles. And it sounds kind of weird and they don't look as nice most of the time, but they handle bumps a lot better and curbs, so it gives you more track to play with. And I also find the car doesn't slide out nearly as easily. And if you want to test it out for yourself, grab a Fudo, throw some off-road tires on that, and see how much of a difference it makes, because that car probably has the least amount of grip in the game, so it'll be the easiest for you to see what off-road tires do to a car. And next would be get the fastest car or a good car in each class. So I'll give you my rundown. So for when it's a motorcycle race, I use an Akuma because it has a ton of acceleration. For an off-road race, I use a Sanchez because it's just by and far the best. They're way OP in off-road races. Compact, I use a Rhapsody. And in sedans, I use an armored shafter completely souped up, but I think like a regular shafter might be a little bit faster. For coupes, I use the Exemplar, and that's easily the best car in coupes. For muscle car, I use a Dominator. Most people do. Most of the fast people that I see race use a Dominator. Sports Classics, Sterling GT, it's the only car you can put that tire on the back and get a little bit extra traction. For the SUV class, I use a Huntley S. That's way faster than any other car. It handles better, or SUV. And for sports cars, I use a Masacaro race car version instead of the regular version. It's a little bit better, just for handling. And then for supercars, I switch between a T20 for a handling track, and if for a long highway race, I'll use my Banshee, because that now has I think the highest top speed in supercars. So next we're going to talk about starts. So a start is fairly important, not necessarily to get in first, but to be ahead of the mess. And the secret to the fast start, if you don't know it, is basically after you see go, you hit the gas and you get the speed boost off the start. So try not to put yourself in a spot where you can get spun or have somebody spin you. So like you see ahead of me, I backed off and I gave myself a little space. Everybody else crashed around me and gave me the lead. So you don't have to be in the first place coming out of the first corner, but it helps to be near the front. And when you're in the lead and you have catch up on, it makes your car a little bit easier to handle in the corners when you're in the lead, but it'll help them speed up and catch you. And as they're catching you, stay to the right or the left and try to stay in one lane while somebody's passing you, and it'll help avoid any accidents. And here you see me braking early a little bit and staying wide, because I knew these two guys were going to come inside me and pass me, so I just gave them the open lane. I didn't get wrecked, and I could stay right behind them and then catch up on the straightaway. And my next tip is to take it easy going into a corner. Sometimes slower is faster. Like if you're going in a corner, you're sliding sideways, all you're doing is losing speed coming out of a corner. And the more speed you have coming out of a corner, the faster you are down the entire straightaway, and usually that's a lot longer than a corner. So you see there, I came out of the corner really fast, and I was able to pass him. Now, I put myself in a bad situation there, but he was a clean racer, so I wasn't too worried about it. Now you see me staying in my lane, letting him pass me, and then getting his draft and trying to pass him back. And now I'm going to show you some examples, or an example of racing in traffic and getting into a messy first corner that you kind of think there might be problems. So off the start here, I get a pretty decent jump. The guy in front of me doesn't get it, and so there's a nice gap between me and the guys behind me. But that just means they're going to come at me with a head of speed coming in the first corner. So you get to the inside, brake early, and nobody can push you out into the trees and stuff. And then I just slowed down there and let everybody else wreck and moved on, and I was good. Now with traffic, sometimes going a little bit slower is faster because you never know coming around a blind corner where a car is going to be if you have traffic on. So sometimes it's better just to make sure you have that extra grip and maneuverability while you're in the corner. It's also good to know that while you're in first, you deal with less traffic and less crazy traffic like trying to hit you and stuff like that than the cars behind you. So you don't necessarily have to be faster in every corner when you're in the lead when there's traffic on. You just got to be a little bit safer. And then the cars behind you will usually run into more problems than you will. And my next tip is sidewalk surfing, they call it, or people that race a lot call it. Because in Grand Theft Auto, if you touch a curb with your tire a little bit on a straightaway, your back tire will spin up and you'll have a little bit more speed going down the straightaway. So you can use this. I don't really use it too much. I don't find I need to a lot, but I definitely see people doing it and it does help. But at the same time, it puts you at a bigger risk to crash. And now here's a little secret that not a lot of people know. If somebody puts it in first person mode, if you hold circle, it'll give you your regular behind the car view, and it's a lot easier to handle a car that way. So I'm holding circle right now. This is a locked first person, and I can drive away from most people that don't know that. And my final set of tips is for motorcycles. So in a motorcycle race, you want to lean back as much as possible. Holding X or pressing forward on a superbike makes it a little bit faster, but the way to be fastest on every single motorcycle in the game is to lean back as much as possible. So when you're leaning back, it just makes the motorcycle have more top speed and more acceleration. And as you're going through corners like that, you saw me there, when it's a pavement corner with some dirt on the inside, try to hit as much of the dirt as you can, because it has a lot more traction than just the pavement itself on a motorcycle. And it doesn't upset the motorcycle very much while you're turning. And also for really tight turns, use the rear brake, R1. It'll help bring the bike around and pivot a little bit faster. And those are my racing tips. I hope it helps you, and I hope you can get some wins because of this. So have a good day, and I'll see you soon.